the first person to present. It's going to be a little different. It's not going to be showing images, but this is something that I had, Timur and I had talked about. And since all of you are photographers and you all travel, so what Timur has to talk about tonight will be something that will be of good use to all of us. So uh, right off the bat, if I could turn things over to you, Timur.
Yeah, I can start.
Yep.
Okay, guys. So we usually travel, and since we all do photography and we bring with us computers, I found few things that I think it's useful, very compact, and uh, I think we all will the benefit. So when we bring computer with us, we bring the power bank. I mean, the power cord, power, what do you call it? The brick,
Power supply. Yep.
power supply to charge your computer. And if we travel to different countries, the AC plug might be different. Plus, we bring with us, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we usually bring with us a few USB-A, USB-C, the other ports. So what I found, and I actually using it, this, I, what it says, being transferred. Oh, okay. I'll just click OK. So this is the one unit, and this is the power brick. It has a 70 watt the charging. It has all international plugs, and it has a 2 USB-A and 3 USB-C ports all in one piece. So if you go to, let's say, the Europe, you can plug it to European, you can plug your computer, it will charge computer 70 watt. I think it's more than enough, not only to charge the computer, you can also use it while it's charging. So it's small unit, and my charging cord I keep in the one little bag. And if you're interested, I can let you know which company, but Amazon sells a bunch of them. This unit actually has the fuse. So in case if there is a spike in electricity, no matter where you're traveling, the fuse will go first, and it will protect whatever you're charging it. So this is one piece. This is how big it is. And it's very light. The second piece, it's actually a wire. And this wire is very original. I don't know about you, but I usually keep my wire with me in a backpack. And I don't know if you're familiar or not, but this USB-A port often gets dust inside and you need to blow. So first of all, there is the cap that protects it, and you can put it anywhere you want. Now, there's a magnets to keep them together. And this is actually 4 ports in one. So this is a lightning port for iPhone. This is USB-C. This is USB-A. And if you need, it's a USB-C to USB-C also. So this is a 4-port in one cord. They're all available in different lengths. Why I like this specific one? Because it has a magnet, and you can actually put it on your the backpack on a strap, so you don't need to look for it, and it's protected. So it's basically when you're wearing your backpack in the airport, it's also dangerous to use somebody's port and somebody's the wires, because they have a chips inside. They may steal your information, believe it or not. So this is always with you in airport. You plug it in, you lock it, and it's safe. And the last thing I wanted to show you, it's kind of the big unit, but it's a high-speed blower. I actually traveling with it to when I go to dive locally, because when you need to blow the air from your ports, the camera lenses, your glasses needs to be done, or believe it or not, In the wintertime, I actually can blow the snow if it's not frozen from the windshield and the mirrors. So it has a 3 speeds. Just wanted to show you. I don't know if you can see my the hand. This is a lot of air. You need to push and hold. On a second stage, you can actually press. You can set it up. It will blow. And in the low speed, it also holds the charge. So you can remove it. I thought it would be possibility to use it as a bank. I couldn't. So it would be nice that it was also the power bank and you can charge your the phone or anything else. That's it. I'm done.
Very good. Very good. I should add, after seeing that power adapter for all the different for different countries, I bought one because it's just terrific. Sometimes if you do an overnight, you go to one country, of course the outlets are different. But if you end up doing an overnight before you get to that other second, your destination, well, that may be a different one. And I've run into that situation. So, and if you don't have the adapter, then you're not charging anything. So,
Right. And I forgot to mention it usually comes with the 2 fuses, which I bought this specific one because it does has a fuse right on the board. And since we go to different countries where not the electricity as stable as, let's say, in other countries, so the fuse will go first, which will protect your valuable equipment.
all right. Thank you, Timur. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
All right, wonderful. We actually had done a gadget thing once before of people presenting things that new tools and toys and stuff that are helpful for us when we travel or just generally in photography. So I'm glad that we have this presentation here tonight. So next is
I'm sorry, India, I forgot to mention, this is also comes with a different attachments. So if it's too hot in the room, you can use it as a fan also. And I just use one attachment, but there is a bunch of them.
Does it come with a bunch?
Yes, it comes with a little bag, attachments inside, the plug to charge, but I leave it because I have that little tiny plug that I use to charge everything. So I'm trying to minimize the stuff I'm taking with me. Yeah.
But I can see where that the big use would be, at least for me, would be, drying off your housing or your camera before you open it up to take the card out. Sometimes either the tank, it's usually a scuba tank, and that has run out of air and you have to wait for someone to come. So this is a nice thing to have. So
one second also, there's the cord smaller than this, they call it keychain. It's exactly the same idea, also has multiple ports, magnet. You can wear it on a keychain, but what I found out, it's not convenient to keep your stuff next. It's so short that your phone, the stuff you're going to charge, is too close. You can put it in a keychain and take it with you, but I didn't find it useful.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Timo. So yeah, I don't know how many co-presenters you have ready, Whitney. So we have Chris. Is Chris here tonight?
I am here.
Okay. Would you like to go now first? Would you be up for doing it first? Okay.
Absolutely. You'll have to instruct me though. I haven't used Zoom in a while in terms of how I can take control because I've got them in a PowerPoint.
Okay. Well, first, let me present that Chris. This is the first time presenting for Chris, and so we welcome you. And I know Chris has a larger or longer presentation on a couple of destinations in Indonesia, but I've asked him to hold off on that, and then so that'll be our first meeting in January, rather than try to just reduce it to 10 minutes for this meeting, I know we'd all like to see, because I know what kind of a photographer you are, and I know that people would love to see what you have. So, all right, Chris, so I will turn it over to you and stop talking.
Right. Do you need me to take control or can you see what I'm going to do here?
We see you, right, we can now see that the Nudibranch.
No, that's not me.
That's Finn. I think you need to go to
Okay.
the bottom of the screen and where it says like share. I've given you co-host permission.
Like host tools for share settings.
You might
It
just have
just you should just say share with a little arrow. It depends on what operating system you're using, sort of.
there's just yeah, a share button with like an up arrow right at the bottom middle of your screen, hopefully.
Now, is there a bar across with a
Yeah, hold
different?
on a second. It's asking me to open share settings.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with
once,
someone else. It's asking me to quit and reopen now that I've changed the settings to allow me to share stuff.
Okay, well, I'll
You have
let
to
you
change
do
settings
that, and
to
I'll
do it.
jump to who else is a co-host? Do we have Andrea queued up?
Yep,
Yeah, Andrea, would you?
sure.
Okay, great.
All right, can you see my first
So
slide?
where we see
Mhm.
the keynote setup, right? So you
Yep.
haven't hit.
So the Black
Now,
Photo
yep.
Society, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so I'll start. This is mainly common marine life found in New England that we commonly see. Um, I've been focusing in on very common. So here's some coral weed, and this was a very tall strand of it. I found it, it was like, I don't know if the seaweed covered it, but it was a nice branch. And another, how come I can't? Oh, yeah. I've been really focusing in on this Crustosalgy. It seems like there's so many different patterns in the way it grows and sometimes covering large spans of granite, like this one actually did. And on that same dive, there was, you can see it was just totally covered in the Crustosalgy, and these pretty large chitons kind of stole the show that day. They're very boring.
Where was this,
Oh,
Andrea?
pardon?
Where was this taken?
Um, this was Bill and I have been just trying to do, I guess, exploration dives. So it was just like a pinnacle that we found,
Uh-huh.
not really named. And sometimes we find really good spots like this, and other times it's a flop. So I was pretty happy to see, and it was relatively shallow. I would say like the top of this rock area was 35 to 40 feet, and then it kind of like just cut off to like maybe 60 feet on the sides. And it looks like there's that, like I forget the name, it's that white tunicate. It grows a lot down in the Boston Harbor area. And then you can see like the chitons were just beautiful because it was clean. You didn't have to fight with algae. Am I going the wrong way? Yep. And then in that similar area, we found this other like rock formation, and there were tons of mussels, of course, covered in this crustose algae. And a different dive, I was just trying to find what the sea urchin puts on its head or top of it to, I guess they shade it from the sun. And this one, of course, had some crustose algae. This one had a piece of a fish vertebrae. And this was a balancing act. I didn't even do this. It was a smaller sea urchin with a giant, I don't know if that's a blue mussel or horse mussel, and then another one balancing on top of that. You can see the algae pretty much everywhere. And for years, I was finding these golden threads, and then I read up on it. It's it's called Byssus threads, and that's how the mussels attach themselves to rocks or other mussels. And it looked like something must have wiped out this area because there were no mussels left, just those the threads were left. And then I was on the mussel kick, and I don't know what these appendages are, but I noticed them on a lot of the probably the blue mussels. And just there were several, and I was just concentrating on those. Just the way this one had frills and some hydroids growing on it, and a huge piece of sea kelp. And not too often do I find horse mussels, but this was quite large. It was probably 4 inches. And it was just nice to see, healthy horse mussel. You usually see a lot of shells. Then I came across this. I thought there were more mussels, but as I took a closer look, there's probably 12 wavy whelks. And I wish there wasn't a lot of the red seaweed because it would have been just beautiful seeing them. But I did try to find areas where you could actually see one, and this one has the algae growing on it. And you could see like the mantle up on the top of another animal of the wavy whelk. And then this was hard to find, but the base of it kind of stuck out, but it's another wavy whelk, quite large. And then I was on the kick, just focusing on them. And that was some egg cases from them. They're like little golden packets on top of one another.
Can you go back to that for a second?
Yep.
Interesting to see, so that we know the eggs can't be there for a very long time, so they're going to hatch. But that tunicate that's on there has grown so fast that it's covering a big section of it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, to show how fast that tunicate is spreading. Not a good thing, but
No, it isn't.
wow, nice picture.
Thank you. And this one had a good size hermit crab living in it and a nice little limpet. Shell's probably seen better days, but he loved it. And then you can see up in this top left corner how like that crustose algae, it almost like grows upwards and makes little peaks and points. the other way. Oh, and famous Northern Lacuna. I like this one, the two-tone. And then in the back, we have the stripes. And all along the blade on the sugar kelp, you can see there were more. And then this was a cute little scene. At first, I was only photographing, I think this is an oyster drill. And then when I got home, I noticed it. I don't know if it's a pink pygmy or a Stimson collis, but it had a hermit
Oh.
crab in it, and the other one had the animal, and it was just on a tiny piece of slipper shell. So this
Hmm.
whole thing is very small. And this is the smallest sand collar I ever saw. I don't know if it was like from a pale moon snail, but usually we see those gigantic moon snails at like Folly and Old Garden. This was about an inch, so
Oh,
it was really cute and shocking to see.
yeah. I bet you it's from a different one, maybe the pale moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the others sort of curl up like a collar, right?
Oh,
Right.
yeah,
And this one seems to be a little flatter on the side.
right.
Oh, that's cool. Where was this? This one more.
This was like with same with the photo before with the slipper shell. This was at Kettle Island,
Well,
and it was like um it was about 40 feet. It was a high tide. And I just remember I went back down for a second dive, and that's when I found this, these little things because I didn't want to go far from the anchor. And I was so happy I went back down because, of course, I never saw a sand collar that tiny. Yeah, because we have the pale moon snail, and there's a few other that are smaller,
right, right.
not like the moon
Oh,
snail.
well, that's cool.
Yeah, and then usually this time of the year, the dulce gets a weird like leopard pattern on it, and I've been trying to get like a decent shot, so at least I got it. At least it shows what it sort of looks like while it's growing on the dulce. I don't know if it's like decomposing or what it's doing.
Yeah, because the ones that I've been seeing they've begun to turn a yellowy color and just starting to degrade at this.
Oh,
Yeah, but
oh,
I'm
maybe
not
that's what
seeing
this
that.
is too. In
Could
a
be.
good way, it's pretty. Oh, having a heck of a time. And I've been seeing a lot of this too. It's the sea colander, and then it looks like there's like caramel sauce on it. I've seen it like at Old Garden. This happened to be at Kettle Island, but it's not on every piece of sea colander. I've seen it for a few years. Again, it must be it's starting to turn and maybe decompose.
Hmm, interesting.
And then this, I was on the bryozoan kick. So, I mean, Andy, how much more time? Because I mean, I can stop.
Maybe wrap it up in a minute or two.
Sure, I'll just finish up with the bryozoans.
Okay.
Or this one's called sea lace, of course, on sea colander. This is just covering the edge of sugar kelp. And just a close-up bit of it.
Huh.
And I always thought they were the same, but this one is actually the hairy bryozoan.
Right. Yeah, because the hairy has those little side bars growing out of it and or look like spikes sometimes, where the lace is more round.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, Yeah.
Nice.
And I can end it with this one. It'll be the last of the series. So this is that still considered the Lacey?
The hairy.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
hair,
the hairy. Yeah.
because it's
Because
not
again,
the,
as it grows, it advances out like a column at a time, sort of,
okay.
where the other is really like spilled milk, you know. So,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And this is more like little jagged edges.
yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Oh,
That's
you're
good.
welcome.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Chris, do you want to give it another
Let's
shot?
try. I realize I've got a new computer since I've last done Zoom, which is probably part of the problem. So hopefully this will work. Allow. How about that?
Okay.
You guys can all see that?
Yep.
Okay, so thanks everyone. Long time lurker, first time presenter. I'm going to just present a few images from 2 different trips I've taken this year. A little bit about like how I image stuff. I am definitely a video person. And I spend a lot of time creating videos and setting the music and doing a lot of editing of videos, but I also then extract footage that I feel is interesting and then put it through an editing process in Lightroom and use the backscatter eliminator in Photoshop to try and create some still images, which is what some of these things are. This first trip was a trip I did with my buddy Mike Carter in May and April to Indonesia. We started out with a couple of days in Ambon doing macro diving and to catch up on the time zone and the jet lag, and then took a 12-day liveaboard down in a southerly direction through the Banda Sea, Alor, and then ended up in Maumere at the end of the trip. I think it was 500 or 600 miles or something like that. So a lot of open sea and some cool stuff, and a little bit more like less predictable sites, but more like remote diving, which was nice. One of the key things about this trip that we are excited about with this first set of images is that you usually stop at 1 or 2 islands in that area that have a pretty consistent population of sea snakes. And
He froze.
Yeah.
Do we lose audio too?
no, it's just video at this point. So what was interesting about them, we didn't have sort of the Nat Geo 10 or 12 snakes in the frame thing going on, but on every dive, there were definitely consistently snakes. Sometimes they were swimming and hunting, surfacing, going down, getting very curious with the diver's gear. So as I started to make images of these, one of the things that these are called olive sea snakes. And the light that was reflecting back, because I'm using dual video lights, was just this really nice, like golden brown light that was really nice contrast I found to the background. And so I was trying to figure out, okay, well, do I want to take the sea snake coming at me? The one sleeping isn't as exciting, but the one I sort of settled on and spent the most time on was this one, which I thought was probably a female since she seemed to be making a heart in front of me and was also doing a nice job framing the Moorish idol around her tail in the background. But the light, again, once I spent some time editing it, sort of popped out really nicely versus the background reef. It's not all in complete focus. And of course, she was like swirling around in front of me as she was looking for whatever she was hunting, but especially the foreground, her scales are pretty well defined and her face. And just that, again, that sort of nice fireside lighting, and for a bit lack of a better word, was I thought was a really nice result versus the background reef.
Chris, you use a GoPro?
Yes, GoPro 13, and I have dual video lights.
Oh, great.
I don't usually, when I'm doing wider angle, I don't usually use any filters at all because I'm just trying to usually shoot stuff that's kind of in that 5 to 8 foot range where the lights are illuminating stuff. And when you get something that's like this, that's like 2 or 3 feet in front of you, the results can be really nice. So one of the other attractions of this trip was an area called Alor, the southern part of the itinerary, where you're cruising through these just beautiful volcanic islands and little villages, and the islands are all covered, the mountains are all covered with green growth, and underwater is just these mind-blowing reefs with clouds of antheas all around them, just like magical dives that you don't want to end. And I'm always trying to, with the video, do at least some wall pictures where I've got some of the wall, some of the blue, and in this case, also trying to capture something in the foreground as well as the clouds of fish. The two Swiss people I was dotted with in the bottom right, I got the wall and the people and some of the fish, but it wasn't quite enough to fill the screen. So I picked the footage on the left and was able to create this image, which I really like because again, it has sort of this formative coral formation in the foreground, a lot of reef structure. And yeah, there's bubbles in the background, but certainly, doesn't make it a perfect image, and a lot of the fish are in motion, so they're not completely focused, but just the sort of being able to capture the action of a reef filled with a cloud of antheas and the blue water. This is maybe about 50 feet deep. And some of the reef structure, I just really like the way this image came out. The third picture or third set of footage I used, this is a reef also, or a jetty also in Allure. And I was trying to pick, I think the water here was maybe 30 feet deep, and I was probably about 10 feet deep when I was shooting this, just picking the piling that had what I felt was the most interesting growth and trying to shoot up so I could get some of the reflective sky above. There were actually some kids up on the jetty, which would have been the Nat Geo shot, but I couldn't get the kids and the piling and the light working the right way. So I picked this particular angle as what I was going to draw from. So I thought, it's not, again, there's bubbles in the background and certainly some things that are not perfect, but I really liked sort of, some of the background being the darkness underneath the jetty, some of the sky and blue sky up above, some fish life both on the piling and in the background up above, and some really cool reef structure, which I thought just made for an interesting image. And then I've got a couple of images from Bonaire with Whitney and Undersea, which I was able to enjoy in March at DV Flamingo. I've never been, amazingly, in my 26 years of diving, I'd never been to Bonaire before this year, which was a mistake, but I need to go again. And really had a great trip and really enjoyed, for this first set of images, the Salt Pier, which is, of course, sort of one of the iconic dive sites of Bonaire. And if you've never been there, it's the Salt Pier where they still today mine the salt and where the ships come in to carry the salt away. So like the image in Indonesia on the left, I'm trying to find a piling that seems interesting, and find some growth on it that has lighting that I feel is going to come out okay. And then on the bottom right, I'm trying to work with the divers and the fish. We'll talk about that in a minute. On the piling, I'm facing north here. And so from my perspective, it's an afternoon dive. The sun is coming from the left side, setting in the west. So, the pilings in the background are getting a little bit washed out in sun, but I still felt like the structure of the stuff on the piling, the contrasts of the orange and the white corals was just really a really pleasing image. And so I didn't care so much about what was washed out in the background, and the lights were able to offset that sunlight to really create something that popped in my mind in terms of the color and the different coral structures on the piling. For the diver image, I was kicking myself a little bit because I didn't quite get the video lights aimed correctly in terms of especially lighting up that left side of the fish school there. And I've got our friend Ed photobombing me in the upper left corner, but I kind of still like the way the image came out because I was trying to capture, I was almost laying on the bottom, shooting up, trying to capture the fish, the piling, being a little bit further away from the coral. So those are dark, and the diver with his 360 camera and the stick sort of coming into the picture and not being blocked by any of that stuff. I thought it kind of came out nice and made it look like this sort of eerie, shady under the pier image with the diver going down to explore in the darkness, which came out, I thought, in sort of a nice mood for this particular image. And then the last couple images, I did go over to the east side of Bonaire based on a recommendation of someone that had been there recently. And there's not much dive infrastructure on the east side of the island because of the That's really the open ocean side of the island, but there is one operator that runs a trailered rib or Zodiac that they launched from the Sorobone area where all the windsurfers and wind foil surfers launch from over there. And they go out just outside that bay. And sometimes it can be a little rough, as you can kind of see on the bottom right. That's probably at 40 to 45 feet where all that surge is happening. So it was wavy, but it was a really well-run boat, stable boat, and relatively easy to get on and off, even with the waves. So I was focusing my image gathering from the turtle, and like the way these came out because it was only about 30 feet deep where he was. So I had nice natural light as well as my lights, kind of making his shell patterns and his fins and head kind of pop in these images, as well as being able to capture the structure and contrast of the sea fans below and some reflection of the light above on the water. So I really liked the two bottom ones that show a little bit of his motion, and the top one where Dude Crush is turning around and saying, "Dude, why are you shining these lights in my eyes?" So I kind of liked his expression in that particular image as well.
That's a great sequence of turtles.
Yeah, I like that. Literally over 2 dives, 75 or 80 turtles. There's a population in that live in and out of that bay down there that I think is like 600 or 700. The Bonaire research, they're always doing research and counting them, so that I guess they know pretty specifically how many. So that they take you outside the bay, and there's like this super highway that runs in and out of turtles. Sometimes I had like 10 turtles in my field of vision at any one moment. So if you go back, I would definitely recommend trying it out. And that's it.
Well, thank you, Chris. That was very, very good.
Thank you for the time.
That was great.
And I look forward to, I'll talk to you later about it, maybe in January in a lore presentation.
Yeah, or I'm planning to go to Papua New Guinea for the first time in April, so that might be another idea.
Oh, okay. Well, sounds good. I spent 2 days in Alor, and yeah, I agree. It's cool spot.
It's like if you could find the right place, you could have a week there, and it would be.
Oh yeah. So good. Well, thank you again. Luis, would you be on deck here?
Sure, I can do it.
All right.
All right, let me share screen. Go ahead and share. All right, so I'll go through it fairly quickly too. But basically, this is the new setup I have. I've decided to go to a mirrorless and change from electric trigger to fiber optic trigger on the strobes. The new setup allows me to sync the strobes at 1/200th of a second shutter speed with a mechanical shutter. So that makes them move a little bit faster in that sense. So this first couple are at Old Garden. Actually, they're all at Old Garden, everything I'm going to show. This was a striper. This was with a wide angle lens, 15 millimeter lens, f8, 1/200th, and ISO 400. And I think it came out pretty good. So I'm using a lot of natural light also. Same thing with this lion's mane. That was in the same dive. And this was still with the wide angle, but there's anemones I came across, and I thought it did a pretty nice job illuminating it and capturing the amount of detail, even with the wide angle lens getting close. It's pretty amazing. Juvenile sea raven found in the sand. He was at least a little bit cooperative. Usually they tend to not, but he
That's a
cooperated.
good shot.
Thanks.
It's nice when all their fins are erect and you can really see.
Yeah. He wasn't too happy, but he was willing to let me get close enough. These are with the 100mm macro. It's an RF lens. The other ones were with my 8-15 EF lens with a converter for to be able to work with a mirrorless. And this was the RF 100. For those that know of Canon, the EF 100, which is typical for the DSLR, is a 1-to-1 macro lens. The RF 100, they made it a little bit longer, put a little bit more stuff in it, and it's actually a 1-to-1.4. So at the same distance as I would be with the EF, I fill the full frame a lot more with the small creatures. And this was just a sea vase, and I just like how all the skeleton shrimps are all over it.
And they are tiny.
Yeah, they're small too. They're young ones, that's for sure.
Wow.
The Tubularian hydroid. I was just trying to get close enough, but there was a little bit of surge, so this is about as good as I could get. I mean, I'm trying to get more detail on them when I find them. This was a winter flounder. Obviously a macro lens, so I have to be back off a lot of it, but I like how the strobes kind of got lost because of the distance, so it kind of just lit up the flounder and not as much of the red seaweed that was behind it. This was another lion's mane. I had the macro lens, and we found this. Liz was on this dive also with me, and I think Kevin, and we found this lion mane and found this little fish hanging around underneath it, close to the bell. And sometimes he was above it, sometimes it was below it. So we were like, okay, I'm not sure what this is, but it was kind of interesting to see it.
Yeah, they'll stay in there for protection.
That's what I figured, Andy, but I just didn't know. I don't even know what type of fish it would have been.
Yeah, I have a picture of one also, and the same thing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, it definitely looked like he was there for protection from anything else. Dead man finger. Sand lances. We've had them all over the place. This is probably the best shot I've gotten, where the camera really locked in on the animal and managed to pick at least one eye out of this bunch and be able to handle it. And a female rock crab with eggs. Now the other things I have are because we talked about during your party, Andy, about the X360. I did make a couple of quick videos. I don't know if I've maximized this for video, but here it goes anyways. This is the X360, the Insta360 X5 with this housing, and just mounted on the side of my rig. Basically, I have this is at 130 feet, and no lights are being used for correction or anything. I basically mount it usually with a 5-inch arm on the side of one of the strobe arms so that he can see. And this is in Bonaire.
Wow.
And this is basically just under the fishbowl that we got into.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah, very cool. So
It's very, very clear. And like I said, I don't do any kind of correction or anything. This is how it comes out of that camera. Like I was mentioning to Andrea, it basically reminded me of the Paralens in terms of the color correction and stuff, how it comes out of that. Because I know, Chris, you do a lot of color correcting and stuff with the GoPro, right?
I do. Even on the video, I do when I'm in. I use Final Cut Pro and do a fair amount.
Yeah. So that's one of the
It's
things I
actually
really,
better than the Paralens, the color on those cameras.
sorry, Finn, I didn't hear that.
I said it's actually better than the Paralens because I had done it. I had both, and I did a comparison, and I've been running all the Insta360 cameras for a while, including the one you just talked about on a scooter.
Yeah, I mean, it's the color correction is so good that you just don't have to do the most editing you have to do is just basically cutting the clip. That's about it. So that's
Nice
it
stuff.
for
Boy, I can see you having a blast with the new camera setup.
me.
Wow, good stuff. Real good. I know that Liz had asked me to be last because she's got tied up with work. And is there someone else who that I left off the list? I know I was going to do something with, and because Virginia also couldn't make it, but sent me 3 pictures. So is there anyone whose name I did not mention, but had told me that they were going to show some images? No? Okay. Uh, then I'm not losing it. That's good. So let's go to now. Virginia and Michael, as I said, they're going to be doing a presentation in August, and I'm hoping that she will do stuff from her phone because what she sent me were images taken from her iPhone. So I'm kind of interested in that. I may have mentioned this before. On the last trip liveaboard that I was on, there were 2 people with iPhones in housings, and the video and the stills were outstanding. And I was very, very impressed. Also impressed with the small size. But anyway, let me first off. We get to here to share. And share. Sharing is not turned on. Huh. Okay.
Are you good now?
I'm good. Okay. And take a chance. Is that we good? Oof. No?
We just
No,
see
I
your
don't see
face.
anything.
Okay. Okay.
There we go.
Uh,
Yes.
So these are Virginia Warren Ross. She usually presents with Michael. And these are, I think, little striped catfish. So let me transcribe. Okay. Something. Okay. All right. Good.
Yes.
Okay. And so these were taken with her iPhone, and she commented on how nice it was not to be carrying anything with her on the trip. Like when this image is pretty nice range to be able to cover all from shooting towards the surface, getting that, and then still getting some light. I don't know how deep she took these, but pretty cool. And also, so she sent 3. So that's what I have from Virginia right now. Again, as I said, I'm hoping she does present this phone just to give all of us a little info on iPhone photography. Okay, I've got a few, about 10 pictures from, and most of them are all either Cape Ann or maybe one or two from Eastport or Deer Island. This is earlier in the summer, the sea nettles, when we had a lot of sea nettles around. Um, and then just a few weeks ago, the lion's mane. They seem to have tapered off. I don't see too many. I've been on the search for them, but it's great when some of the days when there were just so many that you had your choice. So it was kind of cool. And also some kelp. I was just playing with the shape because there was a bit of a current that sort of lifted up the kelp. And it just made a real pleasing shape to it or design. And this from the other day, last week, and I was shooting, this is an old garden, and somebody had mentioned earlier today that sometimes they're not that cooperative. Well, this one, it was, if it was any more cooperative, it would be dead. It just stayed there. So I was able to, first of all, I picked the spot that I wanted to be in. I didn't want to move because until I finished. And then I played with shutter speed to get more ambient light. Then I was playing with the aperture, and also then I stopped, changed the ISO back and forth just to see what kind of combinations I get, because this is like the answer to a dream. It just was not moving, and it was in a fairly decent spot. Then when I finished, or I felt I was done with what I want, I tried to move over and shoot some headshots, and it took off. So I'm glad I just planted myself there. And this continues in Folly Cove. There's a fairly decent sized area where there are blue sea stars. It's the only place I regularly see them. And let me back up for a second. This is that same crustose or coralline algae, and it's in many places getting harder to find because um, the tunicates are taking over, or algae is growing over it. But there's a nice resident herd, if you want to call them a herd, of urchins that keep that place clean. So and I'm sure, Luis has mentioned a big rock swimming way out in Old Garden. And then there's another one off to the left in Old Garden, left-hand part of the reef. And it's the urchins that keep everything clean. So once they go, then the algae just completely covers it. And this from the other day, I've all done. I mean, that was the day I was making an 80-minute dive, and when I was back, and it was about 95 minutes into the dive. That's it. I'm ready to go. I've already coiled up my flag. I looked down my fins, and there was a lady crab. So I just dropped the flag and went right down, and then I stayed with it for a few minutes. And it's a female with eggs. So they're fairly developed. And so, every time I got close to her, she'd just try to bury herself. And there's a pair of mating moon snails. And this is up in Deer Island, a little family portrait. And that's it. So I think this was worked out well, because seeing how the last minute we had to scramble and just to be able to share a little. But what I'd like is if you could, I know I looked at the number of people, you have about 12, 15 people. If you could tell me what you would like to do, what new ideas, what things you would like to do next year. I mean, right now, we kind of been doing, in order to give everyone a chance to, that wants to present, to be able to have a decent amount of time. So it's like 20, 25 minutes. 25 minutes is enough to be able to present something. So that really gives us three people. And I know we kind of get baked into that. I don't know if that's good or bad. Sometimes we've gone, one person has had half of it or more than half, and then a third person fills in, or a second rather. But if there's anything that you would like to do, I mean, this is the time, just again, do no more public shaming, and any of that. But if you would like to, just give me an idea what you would like to do. Yeah, I'll start by, we were going to have Tom give a present how he goes about editing, and he really was uncomfortable doing that because I mean, we all know he's a good photographer and he edits very, very well. But he felt, this is not the reason why he couldn't make it, but he felt like here he is giving a presentation and this is like the Sermon on the Mount, And so he's telling us how, God is speaking to us about how to edit a picture. Well, it's not, that's not what my intent was in asking him. And I don't think I don't think you guys would take it that way. But as a presenter, presenting this is the way we edit, I don't think that's very good. What I'd like to is somebody else to present and do that, because there's all different levels. Some people get really, really intricate changes. At some point, I'll do it, but I tend to keep it simple. And I'm sure the ones who really are very good at editing, and when they'll see what I do, they'll be slapping themselves in the forehead but I just try to do the basic stuff. And my goal is to not change the image in terms of not to make it unreal so that it's still unnatural. You can play with contrast and all that stuff, but you still want it to have natural history is the paramount for what I want to do. But that's not what everyone does. So later I'm going to be asking other people if they would like to just go through it, not as the way it should be done, but as the way you do it. And I have some people in mind that I would like to ask. But anyway, that aside, what would you like for topics or anything?
I do want to mention that Liz is here. I don't know if I think she was
okay,
supposed to present
excellent.
tonight, so I think we
Yeah,
could do that too.
Okay, I was just running on here. Let's put Liz right on.
Liz, you game?
If I can find where I hid my mute button. There it was.
Hi, Liz.
Hello. Yeah, I'm absolutely game. Short and sweet though. Let me find where all my buttons are. Perfect. And do that. Cool. And what if I move this thing out of the way over here? Fabulous. Okay. So you should be seeing a picture of a fishy. I hope. Okay, I'm seeing thumbs up, so I'll assume that's good.
I'm still seeing
Oh.
Andy's screen.
Really?
Yeah.
I see what looks like a lumpfish.
I'm seeing Liz's, so I think
Weird. I'm seeing
Andy's still
Andy's.
sharing, but now it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Andy as still sharing also.
Let's see. Can
Okay,
I
let me
stop
get
participant?
thing
So
that I
I'm
would
going to
get.
stop Andy.
There you go.
There we go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stealing your thunder.
Really, really. Like an elbow pushing you out of the way. Hey, clear out of here.
Whitney
All
just
right.
gave you the hook.
So, these are mostly images I've shot this spring and this summer. There may be some repeat content from what Luis has shown, but unlike Luis, I am working with ancient equipment. I've got a, what even is it? It's an Olympus OM OMG? No, OMD EM5 from 2012.
Yes, you are.
So what can we do with a 14-year-old camera and strobes that keep flooding on me? Let's find out. This lumpfish, this is not a great shot of a lumpfish, in my opinion, but I did like what the kelp was doing, and I did kind of like the contrast both in texture and color between the upper left and the lower upper right. So I thought it was kind of cool. Um, what what happened when I was trying to take this shot is my strobes were not behaving per usual. Um, and we found this lumpfish, but think I think Sean was on this dive. And if you've ever been on a dive for fun with Sean, you know that he keeps the pace up. So I wanted to get a shot of this fish, but I didn't have a lot of time to snap it and keep up with the group. So this is the best capture of that lumpfish that I got. I don't love it. It's kind of a cute little fish. And why does that button not work? I'll try it with my mouse. Perfect. This is a friend of mine that I have not seen in a while at Old Garden, but to be fair, I haven't been diving as much this year as I have in the past. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's on one hand I'm tired. And on the other hand, in addition to my day job and doing this fun stuff, I'm studying for a scuba instructor exam. So that's been taking up a lot of time too. That's scheduled for August. Hopefully after that I'll get to mess around with more fun pictures again. But this lovely lady, and I'm assuming it's a lady just because of the size that this animal has reached. I could be completely wrong. And it's really big, so I'm not going to pick it up and try to look under its tail. This is a big, bluish looking lobster that hangs out over on the left side as you're heading out at Old Garden Beach. And I've seen her a few times over the past couple years. I call her Lobzilla. I like her. What I don't like is there's nothing in this shot to give any sort of reference to the scale. I mean, this lobster, I know things look bigger underwater. I'd assume she's about as big as my cat-ish. But I love running into her and I love taking her photo. I thought this one was all right. I do have a plastic banana that I need to somehow rig up to my BCD so that I have a banana for scale when I'm diving. I did try bringing a real banana one time and it fell out of my pocket. So the creatures of Old Garden Beach at one point over the past couple of years have managed to snag a delicious tropical treat at my expense. But yes, Lobzilla, love her, iconic. This is on the rock that I think Andy mentioned a little bit ago. It's at Old Garden. If you go out at 0 degrees and you're tricky, you'll find a rock with a bunch of that pink algae all over it. And usually a lot of green oceans as well. Occasionally you find other cool stuff on it too. So earlier this season, there was this nice plumose anemone, can't pronounce words today, that was hanging out on the back of it. So I got a couple of shots, played around with the intensity of the blacks and the shadows and the contrast a little bit, and I like how this came out. Could have been composed a little bit better if I was just up a bit more. That would have looked excellent. But I was happy with this. And I love shooting at enemies when you can uh get the background kind of inky like that. It really lets them stand out, and they almost look kind of ethereal. It's one of my favorite subjects. And of course, all the texture back in here is really fun too. More lumpfish. It was like lumpfish madness this spring and early summer. I had never really seen one in 10 years of diving, and then all of a sudden, hey, a bunch of them. Uh, this is a pretty red male that we saw, just kind of hanging out in the kelp. I think this was taken on one of the days that my strobes were not cooperating, so it's not lit very well, and it's tough to see the bright, hot pink intensity of this dude's eyes. But I thought it was cool. They're vibrant, neat fish. Um, we did run into one day that was guarding a bunch of eggs, kind of on a little ledge on a small rock, and that was so super cool. And of course, the reason we saw that day was because I did not have my camera with me.
I remember.
So Luis has some neat shots of some lumpfish eggs. I do not, but you know what? Is a small sacrifice. Small thing to bake. And yeah, I hope I continue to see more of these. Maybe not over the summer. I'm not sure what their habits are, but over the years, I hope I see more because they really are such cool fish. What do we have next? More. This is that same that same anemone, different dive. Um, just kind of chilling out with the hydroids in the back and tunicates and all sorts of other underwatery goodness. So this anemone was hanging out on the rock for maybe about a month or so, maybe even longer. And then the past couple of times that we've been back to that rock, I think, I don't know, it got tired of the paparazzi. I haven't seen it there. It hecked off. It's hanging out on another rock somewhere. Don't know where. I'm hoping that's the case anyway, and that it wasn't devoured by something. But I just like them as a subject. And we have Pollock Palooza in the sand this year as well. If you've been up at Old Garden, you've probably been delighted. I know, I find it delightful to see the pollock coming into the sand and hunting the sand lances. But we also, on one or two dives, had a group of them that I don't know if we were following them or they were following us. But we all stuck together like a mismatched school during the dive. And this is one of the shots that I managed to grab from it. Again, not a lot of great lighting going on. Yeah, a little bit of it in the left-hand side. But I do like the movement, especially of this fish that's in the foreground and the bright orange that you can see on the eye. I really like how that turned out. And how the fish in the back sort of look kind of shiny and dreamy, and they're half lost in the mist. So I don't know, kind of stylized, kind of neat. Did I intend for that to happen? Sure. That's exactly, yeah. More pollock this time, brighter. What I did was I bought a new, I don't know what it's called, the back battery cover for one of my strobes. And that has improved its performance drastically. I'm going to knock on every piece of wood I have. It has not flooded since I got a cover for it. And it turns on a lot easier too. So that's great. And because of that, the lighting in my past few batches of photos has been much, much better than it has been earlier this year. Um, these fish also had the benefit of being photographed in shallower water up in the sandy bit of Old Garden. This is as they were swimming away after they had had kind of a feeding frenzy down in the sand going after the sand lances. They're always fun to watch. What else have we got? So this is the exact same subject that Louise showed. Our jellyfish buddy, she friend hanging out with it. A completely different perspective of the same subject, different equipment, shooting it. And that's what I got when I zoomed way, way, way in on it.
Oh,
A little bit of a different different sort of texture almost than what Luis was able to get with his setup. Really liked that little fish. It was so cool. And another jellyfish. Again, a year of, you'd think this wouldn't be the year of first, considering I've been diving for about 10 years, but first time I saw a bunch of lion's manes in the water. So of course I've been taking the opportunity to snap as many of them as I can. And I really like how I got this one. It was okay. I don't even know what the word for that was. It was spreading all of its tentacles and its bell out, and I just thought it looked great. I was happy how it came out. Even though it has a ton of backscatter, I think that kind of adds to it. It's like, ooh, yes, this is underwater. There's stuff in the water. Does it make the jellyfish magical?
and
Maybe.
all the
Maybe.
tentacles really stand right out. So they
Mhm.
really, yeah, terrific.
Yeah, I was maybe a bit closer to it than I would have liked to be. Then again, in an 8 millimeter semi-dry, the only bit of me that was exposed to tentacles was maybe a little bit right here. Oh,
Spicy kiss.
yeah, yeah. It could have gone a little bit right here, but that's about it. Uh, yeah, I had so much fun shooting those.
Nice shot.
Yeah. And to wrap it up, we have Sandlance Madness. Um, this is a crop from a larger photo. I like the shiny, almost metallic. It's a bunch of metal cylinders or something, and they're going really, really fast. Well, I know they're fish. They're probably squishy. They're just so pretty, so shiny. I don't have the sharp, sharp, sharp. I don't know if I can zoom in on this. Yeah. So I was not able to capture the eyes as sharply as Luis's setup could. Um, I hope I captured the absolute madness that
Mhm.
are these schools of little shiny silvery fish.
Well, you did.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
and the density is just,
Yeah, it's it's nuts. I consider myself so lucky that I get to go and check this sort of thing out in person. It's just too much fun. Too much fun. Learning to dive was the best thing I ever did. Anyway, so those are my photos.
well, great. Very nice. Very, very nice.
Thank
And
you.
if I could continue one a little bit more when you said that you shot a bunch of the lion's mane. And in my opinion, I mean, that's the thing to do because, we had a bunch of them last year. We get them this year. It's not the most common. It doesn't usually happen. You could go a bunch of years and not see them. I mean, just look at the difference between the density of the sand lance this year and last year. Last year they were so thick you could walk on them, and this year it's not as much. And go back 3 years ago, that Pufferpalooza time when there were puffers everywhere. And then I expected, I mean, I shot them, but after a while I said, they're here. But I wish I had shot more because the next year they're gone. So yeah, do it while you can. If you see them there, just shoot away. And you got great shots. So, okay. Well, thank you. And so now, when we were talking about, or I was talking about what ideas of anything that you would like to try, a topic. Um, for a while, we were doing destinations or creatures. So now we did nudibranchs. We did, I don't know what the other, we did some other animal. I can't even think of it right now. But is something like that of interest to pick one animal so everyone would do whatever, hermit crabs, you know, or I know, Liz, you want to do hermit crabs, but it is, uh, you know, or a fish, flounders, or whatever. I won't say flounders because that might eliminate people from that don't dive around here. Well, there's tropical flounders too, but something. Would that giving the dozen people that are here, what is that? Let me know if what you think. If you think that that's a good idea, um, or something completely different. Um, I'm really open, and I know Whitney is also to anything, um, anything different, a different approach. Um,
I mean, I'll be honest, I like the mixture of the stuff you've had recently, which is like some selection of focused topics on whether it was some of the abstract stuff, more specific destinations are interesting. I like the techniques and editing ones. I like the one where everyone picked a picture and added their edits. I, certainly like even just Timor's simple one, like, hey, look at this cool gadget. I mean, we're all always looking for that stuff too. So I don't really have any new ideas, but I like all of the above in addition to destination ones.
Okay, well, I'll send out a few. I'll make a list of and include that in the email on what we have done, and then what pick. I'll include 5 places, and whatever comes up the most, we'll add that to one to a meeting, and then maybe a creature too. So, but if you have any creatures, anyone, if you don't want to say anything now, just send me an email. I'll send it to Whitney. Just that you would like whatever skeleton shrimp, what, whatever it is that you like. So that way it'll give us some focus, um, and maybe it'll be something different. So.
Or Andy, like we did the subject on nudibranchs or
Uh-huh.
hermit crabs. Maybe we could cover like arthropoda, which would cover a broad range. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
it would
Okay.
be crab,
Sure.
lobster,
Crab, shrimp,
barnacle,
lobster. Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
and then that way there people could dive different areas and still come up with it, or
Okay.
like
Yeah. That's a good idea.
tunicate
Yep.
or mollusk. Even the mollusk, that's very
Ooh.
broad,
Yep.
very, very.
Yeah, those are easy things to photograph. So I like the idea. I mean, even just the crab alone is really cool. Because I'm sure
Exactly.
Andrea could find one with a really cool shell too.
All right. I will
Yeah, the theme nights are fun, mix it up.
okay. Um that sounds good. I'll
And of
include
course, destinations, Chris had mentioned, or abstract.
yep. Destination like Chelsea Creek, that'd be a spot.
Pine River and Revere.
Yeah, hit all
I've
the
been in
hot
there a few
spots.
times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll how about right now? If you had to pick a destination, I mean, we've done Philippines, and we have done shy away from just New England, well, I suppose we could, but there's some people who don't dive here. Although I look at, I look who's here today, I think just about everybody dives here. Um, um, would that be New England be of interest?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like pick your
Totally.
favorite image of the past 3 months or whatever it would, whatever time period or
All right, maybe, okay. The, and the, because Chris, I think you heard, so our last meeting is always your 10 best, or not 10 best, but 10 favorites for, um, of 2020. In this case, it'll be 2026. And we did it last year, and I think it was fun. Uh, I thought it was fun. So we had everyone had 10 minutes, and what they did is they sent me the pictures, and I put it all on a keynote and then showed everyone's pictures, and it went pretty well.
Brian just suggested in the chat of having like a Folly Cove night. So maybe you could have like one, dive site around here too and focus on just
Okay.
pictures from that.
I mean, or just have I'm not sure I understand, we all make a dive there, or,
Oh no, just like images from, since a
Oh.
lot of local people dive Folly Cove, maybe just
Okay.
have like images from anybody's
okay.
dive
Oh,
that
yeah.
they've taken there.
So I think that's
So-
my favorite dive site, so I'm definitely be up
Right?
for that.
great idea.
Andy, can I suggest that you do a series on extraordinary pictures of the ordinary? Because we see a lot of lobsters, crabs, kelp, sand dollars throughout New
we did that
England.
time.
Great idea.
Oh, did Andrea did that? Okay.
Probably just exactly what I did tonight. I just
Yeah, yeah.
focused on the common because
Okay.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
make
but
it
I came
anything
in
you
late, so I
want.
missed it.
it's okay. Yeah, yeah.
Can't snub the common. Might
No,
never
no,
be there
no.
or not be there.
Andrea does an amazing job of that pretty much every time I see her present things.
Thank you.
We all can't see basking sharks when we dive, so we're 90% of our dives are looking at common things.
Algae.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's a good idea.
Did we already talk about editing a picture again? A bunch of us editing or talking about editing.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
yeah. Now you're talking about editing one picture and trying, or someone doing an editing process.
Both. I like listening to other people's processes, and I think we all had fun when we had one picture and people edited it because we learned,
Okay. All right, that's
I love that idea too. It was so interesting to see so many different takes on one image.
okay. Yeah, and then so I think what we could do with that is people could just when we do get to that point, uh send me a couple of pictures, and then we'll just pick what I think would be one that would be good for people to do, either to salvage or just to give a different rendition. Uh, and then also the having one person. Actually, we could do a couple of people, one person take us through for half an hour, 20 minutes on how to edit, not how to edit, how they edit a picture. And then we'll get somebody else to do it. And because everyone's approach is appealing to somebody, we hope. So that's good. And I will try to get to, and I'll be asking for info from people on different editing techniques. So if there's something new that's coming along, because things like with Adobe, and that's really the one I'm more familiar with, they keep coming up with new things. And then that could be a little presentation on how to use some of these new updates. But certainly there's other software. And right off the bat, I mean, I know that Daryl is much more up with the different kinds of software. And that could be something, I don't want to put you on the hot seat, Daryl, but that could be.
I could also do a comparison again. But as far as ease of use, Lightroom is pretty good. But, a lot of the applications that come with cameras today can do some of the basic stuff. It's that really you get into AI stuff, and that's where you're really paying for the Adobe license right now to make things easier on you from an underwater photographer standpoint. And that's going to, continue to evolve. I mean,
Yeah,
eventually the AI will take the photograph for you, right?
absolutely. I don't even have to get wet. And I don't have to rinse off my gear or anything. So, yeah, I can just say, give me a nice bright red anemone in the middle of Folly Cove, and I can just have a coffee on the shore. Sounds good. Um, these are good ideas.
Yeah. I mean, I also have ideas, but as you know, Andy, I'm a twit lately with getting presentations done,
Yeah,
overcome by circumstances.
but everyone's got a life, and it's, you obviously want to do things, and then life gets in the way, and things become more complicated. So,
Yeah.
but
That whole color, conversation that Lewis brought up about the Insta360s and stuff, that I could do a whole presentation on that because I bought all their cameras basically and been comparing them to GoPros as far as being able to edit their photos in Lightroom and stuff like that because of the additional raw capability you can do with them. But it goes into color gradient for video for those of us here that do video also.
you mentioned video, and that's something that I realize that we don't do as much on. And then there's a handful of people who are shooting or are beginning to shoot more video. So maybe we should have presenters present on tips on shooting video.
I think that'd be great. We haven't
Yeah,
focused on
a
that
video
much.
night sounds like a fun subject.
Because for a while there was someone who was presenting a lot of video with that little Bakita camera, and so video camera. But now many of our cameras all shoot great video, so it's just it's definitely not the same as shooting stills, although some of the principles are the same. But that would be I'll put an all call out for video people too. And things like Louise, I'll put you on the hot seat here. You have done a couple of presentations along the way on just nothing more than your experience in using some new equipment, new camera. Both of them has been new cameras, and one going from a TG to your first camera.
DSLR, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's real useful because some people want to make a change, some don't want to, they may see and they say, wow, it's worth it because I can be able to do this. The others say, no, 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 the hell with it, it's too much work. So every kind of a camera doesn't appeal to everybody. So so my point with this rambling is if you have something that a new piece of equipment that you'd like to do nothing more than tell us your experience, I think a lot of people would find that really helpful. So, okay, if you think of any others, any other ideas or stuff, this is a bunch, and this is terrific. I'll try to put this together on an email and send it back to you. And with some other questions and stuff, and then we'll see where we go with that. So otherwise, we have Daryl for next month with printing, and then Andrea with the Philippines, and Michael in Virginia. So thanks everyone for coming in tonight, and also for last Sunday night too. Anyway, I will see you all, and thanks for tuning in and joining us tonight.